The silence of Moonbeam Cafe at 1 a.m. shattered when the glossy black Escalade pulled up outside. I'd only been working the graveyard shift for 3 nights, but even I knew this wasn't our usual crowd of night nurses and insomniacs, the SUVs. Doors swung open and my stomach dropped faster than a shot of espresso. Devin fucking Hayes, if you don't know who that is. You're probably not on TikTok, 8 million followers, Gucci slides. That smirk that makes you want to punch something? Famous for his service worker challenge videos where he deliberately provokes people just trying to do their jobs until they snap, then edits the footage to make them look unhinged while his army of teenage followers destroy the business with 1-star reviews. And now he was walking through our door with his iPhone already recording. Hey guys, it's ya boy Devin. We're hitting up this random coffee shop tonight to see if they can handle a simple order. His voice was louder than necessary in the quiet cafe, where the only other customer was a med student dozing in the corner booth. I forced a smile. Welcome to Moonbeam Cafe. What can I get started for you tonight? He approached the counter slowly, his phone aimed directly at my face. I need a venti, sugar-free, non-fat, vanilla soy, double shot, decaf, no foam, extra hot, upside-down caramel macchiato. We're not even a Starbucks, but I nodded. I can make that for you, just to confirm. You want to, actually? Scratch that, he interrupted. Make it almond milk. Wait, no, oat milk, and make it half calf, and add whipped cream. No, wait, no whipped cream. I'm cutting dairy. My training with Maria, the owner, flashed through my mind. Kill difficult customers. With kindness, they can't make viral content if you don't give them the reaction they want. 20 excruciating minutes later, I handed him a drink made exactly to his ever-changing specifications. He took one sip, grimaced dramatically for the camera, and set it down. This tastes like actual sewage. Did you even put in the vanilla? Yes, And it's lukewarm? I specifically asked for extra hot? I can remake it? You know what? Let me talk to your manager. His eyes gleamed as he said it, like he'd been waiting to drop that line. My manager isn't here right now. It's just me on the overnight shift, but I'm happy to fix your drink. That's when he reached across the counter and deliberately knocked over a tray of freshly baked muffins, sending them crashing to the floor. Oops, he smirked. Guess someone's clumsy. The med student in the corner woke with a start, took one look at Devin filming, and quickly gathered his books. Smart guy. I took a deep breath and reached for the broom. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Or what? You gonna call the cops on me? For what? Your incompetence? His voice got louder with each question, his phone capturing every second. The comments were flooding in on his live stream. Make her cry, Devin! Ask for the corporate number. She's about to lose her job. Lol. When I didn't respond, he picked up his barely touched drink and accidentally knocked it over, sending hot coffee across the counter and onto my apron and jeans. Damn, that's career gold right there. He laughed, zooming in on my soaked clothes and my name tag. All right, guys, that's all for tonight's episode of America's Worst Barista. Don't forget to like and share. As he sauntered back to his Escalade, I stood there, coffee dripping down, my legs fighting back tears that would only give him more content. What happened next? Let's just say I didn't get mad, I got even updated. My hands were shaking so bad after he left that I dropped a whole carton of milk. My manager would arrive in 5 hours and find both the mess and the viral video. Was I about to get fired from a job I desperately needed? What would you have done? Quit on the spot or stuck it out? Working at Moonbeam wasn't my dream job, but it was paying my way through nursing school. The overnight shift paid an extra $350 an hour, and with clinical rotations eating up my daylight hours, it was the only schedule that worked. Plus, Maria understood my situation better than most bosses would. Maria Vasquez had built Moonbeam from nothing after quitting her 15-year nursing career at Memorial Hospital. Healthcare burned me out, she told me during my interview, but good coffee saved me. Her cafe was just 2 blocks from the hospital, making it the unofficial refuge for medical staff needing caffeine and carbs to fuel impossible shifts. I'd only gotten the job because of dumb luck. During my interview, Maria's nephew had a severe allergic reaction to a cookie from the bakery next door. While everyone panicked, I recognized the symptoms, found his EpiPen, and kept him calm until the ambulance arrived. Maria hired me on the spot, despite my total lack of barista experience. I can train anyone to make coffee, she said. I can't train them to keep their head in a crisis. Still, the graveyard shift was a risk for her. Most cafe owners wouldn't trust a rookie with their business all night, but nursing school had already taught me how to function on minimal sleep and handle people at their worst. Or so I thought, until Devin Hayes walked in. I'd seen his videos before. Everyone had. He'd started with harmless pranks, but as his follower count grew, so did his need for content. His targets were always people who couldn't fight back without losing their jobs. Cashiers, waiters, flight attendants, delivery drivers. He'd provoke them mercilessly, filming their reactions, then edit the footage to make them look incompetent or crazy. Last month, He'd reduced a Walmart greeter to tears and gotten her fired after. His followers flooded the corporate complaints line. The week before visiting Moonbeam, he'd caused a scene at a local pizza place that resulted in the owner having to temporarily close due to online harassment. What Devin and his followers didn't understand was that Moonbeam wasn't some faceless corporation. It was Maria's entire life savings. She'd remortgaged her house to keep it afloat during COVID. We were finally turning a profit, but barely. One viral video could destroy everything. After he left, I cleaned up the spilled coffee and muffins, then checked TikTok with shaking hands. Sure enough, there it was. Most incompetent barista in America, with my full name tagged, the clip already. Had 50,000 views and was climbing rapidly. The comments were brutal. Someone needs to get fired, Lummo. How hard is it to make coffee, stupid bitch? I'm leaving 1-star reviews everywhere for this place. Drop the address so we can go there tomorrow and film more. I checked our Google reviews and watched in horror as our 4.8-star rating plummeted to 3.6 in real time, as Devin's followers left dozens of fake reviews. One even claimed to have found a cockroach in their drink at a cafe they'd never visited. I could have called Maria. I could have locked up the cafe and walked away. I could have posted my own tearful video begging for mercy from the internet mob. Instead, I remembered something my clinical instructor had told me during my first week in the ER. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is the thing no one expects. By 4 a.m., our Google rating had dropped to 2.3 stars. My Instagram and Twitter were flooded with DMs from Devin's followers, some threatening to show up at the cafe, others suggesting I kill myself. Someone had even found my school email and sent messages to the nursing department claiming I was mentally unstable and unsafe around patients. I could barely focus on serving the few regular customers who came in. All hospital staff who had no idea about the digital hurricane swirling around me. A trauma surgeon ordered his usual double espresso, complaining about a difficult case. 2 nurses grabbed lattes before heading home after their shift. They all tipped generously, oblivious to the fact that I might not have a job by morning. At 5:30 a.m., I took my break and stepped outside for some air. The sky was just beginning to lighten, that strange limbo between night and day. I leaned against the brick wall and pulled out my phone. Devin had posted 3 more clips from our key interaction, each more heavily edited than the last. In the latest one, he'd added sad violin music over footage of me cleaning up the muffins, with a caption claiming I'd refused to serve him because of his race. A complete fabrication. The comments had grown more vicious. Let's dox this bitch. Someone find out where she lives. My cousin is in nursing school with her, gonna get her kicked out. I scrolled numbly, feeling disconnected from the person they were attacking. Then I stopped on a comment from Devin himself. Update. Found out. This girl is in nursing school. Imagine her taking care of your grandma, LOL. Anyone know which hospital she's doing clinicals at? That crossed a line. My education, my future career, my patience. I took a deep breath and dialed a number. Dr. Elena Reyes picked up on the 3rd ring, her voice husky with sleep. This better be good. I have rounds in 3 hours. Dr. Reyes? It's me. I'm sorry to call so early. Dr. Reyes was my clinical supervisor at Memorial, known for being brilliant but terrifying. What's wrong? Are you hurt? For all her toughness, she cared about her students. No, but I need advice. Something happened at the cafe, and it's escalating in a way that might affect my clinicals. I explained the situation as clinically as possible. Like, I was presenting a patient case. There was a long pause when I finished. Did you say Devin Hayes? She finally asked. Yes. Do you know him? She laughed, a short, sharp sound. Not personally, but I know his mother very well. Patricia Hayes is the administrative director of Memorial's East Wing. My heart skipped. Are you serious? Deadly. And Devin was a patient here last month. Severe dehydration after some fitness challenge went wrong. I believe you were assigned to his floor, though you probably didn't recognize him without his, what do they call it? Clout? The pieces clicked together like a diagnosis. Room 412. The arrogant 23-year-old who'd refused to make eye contact while I took his vitals and helped with a particularly humiliating bedpan situation. He'd been wearing a baseball cap pulled low the whole time, claiming he was nobody important. Of course, Dr. Reyes, I would never ask you to violate patient confidentiality or use your position. Stop right there, she interrupted. I'm not suggesting anything improper, but as your clinical supervisor, I'm concerned about your professional development. And as a doctor, I'm concerned about patient privacy at a cafe where many hospital staff discuss sensitive matters. Perhaps Ms. Hayes would want to know about her son's creative endeavors, professional to professional. After we hung up, I finished my shift. In a daze, the cafe quieted as morning arrived. The overnight rush of hospital workers replaced by early commuters grabbing breakfast. Maria would arrive at 7 a.m. I dreaded explaining what had happened, showing her the tanking reviews, admitting I might have destroyed her business by becoming Devin's latest target. At 6:45 a.m., my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Patricia Hayes. Dr. Reyes suggested I speak with you regarding my son's behavior. I've reviewed the videos. Please don't mention this to anyone. I'll handle it. Give Maria my regards. 15 minutes later, as I was wiping down tables, Maria burst through the door looking panicked. I just got a call from Patricia Hayes, Memorial's admin. Director, she said there might be some trouble with online reviews. What happened? I explained everything, showing her the videos, the plummeting ratings, the threatening comments. To my surprise, she pulled me into a tight hug. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. This happened on your shift. These internet vultures are getting out of control. She inspected the cafe. But the place looks immaculate. You handled it professionally. That's all I care about. But our reviews will recover, Patricia assured me of that. Apparently she has some influence over her son. Maria's phone dinged. See? Already climbing back up, someone's removing fake reviews. I checked my own phone. Devin's videos of me were gone. All of them. His most recent post, from just minutes ago, was a stiff apology claiming it was all just entertainment, and that he never intended to harm anyone's reputation or business. Go home and sleep, Maria said. You've had enough excitement for one shift. As I walked to my car, another text came through from Patricia Hayes. Devin will be offline for the foreseeable future. His accounts are being managed by me until further notice. The videos have been removed, and steps are being taken to restore Moonbeam's ratings. I must ask again for your discretion regarding my son's medical information. I typed back, I would never violate patient confidentiality. Thank you for your help. Her response came immediately. We both know that's not entirely true, but your discretion moving forward is appreciated. Devin will be taking time to reassess his career choices, perhaps pursuing his education as you are. I drove home in a daze, collapsing into bed as the sun climbed higher in the sky. By the time I woke up that afternoon, Devin Hayes had lost 300,000 followers, and Moonbeam's rating was back at 4.2 stars and rising. Updated. My phone's been blowing up with texts from my clinical group who recognized me in Devin's TikTok. Weirdly, his followers are now defending me in the comments, calling him an abuser and bully. Some big news platform even reached out, wanting to interview me about standing up to influencer harassment. Should I do it or stay quiet? The next evening, when I arrived for my shift, Maria was waiting with a nervous-looking woman in an expensive pantsuit. This is Patricia Hayes, Maria said quietly. She'd like to speak with you. Patricia looked nothing like her son. Apart from the same precise way of studying people, like she was cataloging their weaknesses, she was probably in her 50s, her dark hair streaked with silver, a Rolex gleaming on her wrist. First, I want to apologize for Devin's behavior, she said once we were seated in a corner booth. There's no excuse for how he treated you or for the harassment you've endured from his followers. I nodded, unsure what to say. She slid an envelope across the table. This should cover any damages to the cafe and compensate for your distress. That's not necessary. It is. Her tone left no room for argument. My son has been indulged for too long by me, by his father before he left. By these platforms that reward the worst human behaviors with attention and money. Maria excused herself to give us privacy, though I could feel her watching protectively from behind the counter. Devin will be taking a break from social media. Patricia continued. He'll be focusing on his health and education. He's enrolling in community college next semester. I didn't ask for that. No, but Dr. Reyes made it clear what was at stake, not just for you, but for Devin, for me. She straightened her already perfect posture. My position at Memorial requires a certain professional standard, one that extends to my family. The unspoken message was clear. You had leverage, and you used it strategically rather than vengefully. Where is he now? I asked. At home, dealing with the consequences. His sponsorships have been canceled. His friends from that ridiculous content house have distanced themselves. Turns out loyalty is in short supply when ad revenue is threatened. She almost smiled. A valuable lesson. We sat in silence for a moment. He doesn't remember you, she finally said. From the hospital. I know. You could have led with that. Could have threatened him directly. Posted your own video revealing that the mighty Devin Hayes needed help with his most basic bodily functions after pushing himself too hard for a stupid internet challenge. I shook my head. That's not who I want to be. She studied me again. This time with something like respect. You'll make an excellent nurse. As she stood to leave, she paused. Devin has been instructed to make one final video next week. A proper apology. Not the damage control nonsense from this morning. He'll be endorsing Moonbeam Cafe and encouraging his remaining followers to support local businesses. I trust that will be acceptable. I thought about it. Only if Maria approves. This is her business, not mine. Patricia Hayes nodded and walked out. Through the window, I watched her slide into a silver Mercedes that probably cost more than my entire nursing degree. 2 days later, a small package arrived at the cafe addressed to me. Inside was a hospital bracelet, Devin's, and a handwritten note. I didn't recognize you until my mother showed me the full video. I don't expect forgiveness, but I am sorry. DH, the weirdest. Part of the aftermath was how quickly everything faded. Devin's content house friends, who had built their brands on similar prank videos, suddenly pivoted to charity work and mental health awareness. His most rabid followers found new idols to worship. The internet's collective memory moved on. To the next controversy, Moonbeam not only survived but thrived. Maria instituted a strict no filming without consent policy, complete with tasteful signage explaining that many customers were healthcare workers discussing sensitive information. The hospital staff, upon hearing about the incident, became even more loyal customers. As for Devin, he disappeared from social media entirely. His accounts remained active but changed overnight, posting only about sustainable fashion and occasional promotions for small businesses. Everyone in the industry knew he wasn't running them anymore. Kept my head down, focused on finishing nursing school, and tried to forget the whole thing. But sometimes, late at night during my shift, I'd remember Dr. Reyes's words when I thanked her for her help. You didn't need me to fight your battle. You just needed someone to point you toward the right weapon. That was 3 years ago. I graduated nursing school with honors and now work in the ER at Memorial, the same hospital where Dr. Reyes still terrifies medical students and where Patricia Hayes no longer serves as administrative director. She relocated to Arizona last year, reportedly to be closer to Devin, who completed an associate's degree in business administration and now works for a marketing firm that specializes in ethical social media campaigns. Occasionally, a patient will squint at me and ask, "Haven't I seen you somewhere before?" I usually just smile and check their vitals. The video may be gone, but nothing ever truly disappears from the internet. Maria expanded Moonbeam into 3 locations, all with the same no filming policy and all popular with hospital staff. The original cafe has a framed Best of Phoenix award behind the counter, right next to a small sign that reads, "Be kind or be gone." Sometimes new nursing students ask me about that story with the TikTok guy. Since it's become something of a legend in our hospital, I usually just shrug and say that influence without character is just power without purpose. Last week, I treated a teenage girl who'd been cyberbullied so severely she'd swallowed a bottle of pills. As I sat with her while we waited for the psychiatric consult, she asked me if things would ever get better. I told her my story. The real version, not the sanitized hospital legend. I showed her a screenshot I'd saved of Devin's followers. "Threatening to ruin my life. What happened to them?" she asked. "They moved on," I said. "They always do." "And the TikTok guy?" "He found a different path," I told her. "Sometimes people just need to be reminded of who they really are when the cameras are off." As I finished my shift that night, I checked my email and found a message from an unfamiliar address. "Saw your name on Memorial's new staff list. Congratulations on finishing your degree. I'm finishing mine too. Different coast, different life, better person, I hope. Still sorry." DHI didn't respond. Some stories don't need another chapter. Updated. Just got recognized at Target by someone who saw Devin's old video on some canceled influencers compilation. They asked if I ever got revenge on him. Told them sometimes the best revenge is just living well. Speaking of which, do you think social media has made us more cruel, or just exposed the cruelty that was always there?